Hi, my name is Jeff Freshour, and this is a brief history of documentary filmmaking. Documentary filmmaking is a style that captures true events on film for viewers to see. In short, it documents reality. But reality isn't always what it seems.
Documentary filmmaking is how motion pictures got started. The first films that were created were not about actors who were playing out a scene. The first films were about real life. One of the most famous films of the documentary genre was Arrival of a Train by the Lemure brothers. This was the most popular documentary film in the late 1890s. As filmmaking became a viable industry, documentaries became its own genre. But as documentaries progressed, they became staged stories presented as truthful reenactments. This is what I meant when I said the truth isn't always what it seems. Because cameras had to be stationary on a tripod, documentaries were often staged to look like it was capturing life as it happened. But that wasn't the case when it came to filming people in their environment. They had to be directed so the camera could catch the action. This was the case for several documentaries in the early 1900s. In 1914, In the Land of the Headhunters. In 1919, in South by Frank Hurley. In 1922, Robert J. Flaherty's Nanook of the North. Flaherty went so far as to make his subjects kill a walrus with a harpoon instead of using an available shotgun. Another form of documentary during this time was the newsreel. Most newsreels were actual film footage of actual events as they took place, but even some of these were reenactments of actual events.
During the 1930s, and especially during World War II, documentaries were made for propaganda. The United States government enlisted filmmakers to get their message across to the masses.
Per Lorentz and Frank Capra made films to help the United States recover from the Great Depression and boost morale during World War II. During the 1950s and 60s, the next generation of documentary filmmaking was born. This was known as cinema verite, or direct cinema. These films strive for immediacy, spontaneity, and authenticity. It was in the 1960s that different cameras were developed to make this all possible. In America, a team headed by Robert Drew and funded by Life magazine came up with a stripped-down version of the Oricon camera. It was modified and adapted to carry on the shoulder, not set up on a tripod. The first film made in America with the new camera from Robert Drew's group was Primary. This was a film about John F. Kennedy's bid to win the Wisconsin presidential primary. The freedom these new cameras brought to filmmaking meant that there was no need to stage action from bulky tripod-bound cameras. Documentaries would never be the same again. During the decades to come, many documentaries are made using these smaller cameras and cinema verite style. In the 1970s, the film Sorrow and the Pity introduces a new style of synthesizing actual archival footage and contemporary interviews to further change the way documentaries are produced. Today's documentaries use many styles and an array of different camera types. With the availability of affordable technology and crowdfunding, anyone with a story to tell can produce a documentary. So go be creative and make a documentary. Tell a story and change the world.
This has been Jeff Freshour presenting a brief history of documentary filmmaking.